3, 2, 1. Holy cow!
Good morning, fellas. It's Henry from Mowers and Blowers again. This is episode 5 of trying to get this engine running. Yes, I know. In episode 4, I says that this engine is Dunsky, and that I quit, and that I'm abandoning the project, and I'm no longer going to try to fix it. I'm just going to park this in the back, and that will be the end of it, right? Well, since that video, after 450 or so views and 80-something comments of mostly my regulars and quite a bit of new commenters that I've never ever seen before. So thank you for that, and I appreciate all the encouragement that people are telling me. Don't give up. It's this, it's that, it's the other thing. I just want to clear up some stuff, okay? So and look, you guys know that I'm no expert, not by any means. I'm just a guy that's been trying to learn as much as I can with experiencing different things from the stuff that I get. You guys know I get all my stuff for free, and I always run into something new, and from that I'm learning. And hopefully, if you guys are not experts, you're learning along with me, you know, which is, no matter what, a learning experience, and it's educational for everybody, right? I apologize to the experts who are frustrated and saying, Henry, you don't know what you're doing. I says, well, I'm not an expert. I'm learning just like everybody else. So if you're an expert, it's your responsibility to correct what I do. So while I've probably rebuilt about 5 engines before in my life, right? 5 or 6 maybe, you know. I've done opposed twins and single cylinder ones. Hey, 2 years ago, if you said that I could rebuild an engine, no way would I say that's possible, you know? So like again, what I said is, I'm learning as I go, you know? And I think I've made quite a lot of progress over the years, you know? I started with push mowers. And a thought of taking apart an engine with pistons and connecting rods and counterweight balances, there's no way I would ever do that. Or a valve job, or adjusting valves. 2 years ago, there's no way I would ever thought I would be able to do that stuff. But, hey, who knows? 2 years from now, who knows what's possible, right? You just learn. So what I didn't really know, which obviously makes sense after all the comments, was that when I took this engine apart to take a look at the camshaft and crankshaft dots, right? I noticed that it was 180 degrees off. What I didn't realize was that it's true. Crankshaft gear is about that big. Camshaft gear is about twice that size, right? So if the dots are rotated 180 degrees, had I just turned that crankshaft another rotation, that dot probably would have matched up. But you see, that all is moot. And why I say it's moot is that it doesn't matter if it's at top dead center or not. The dot on the crankshaft gear and the dot on the camshaft gear, the only thing it needs to do is line up together. That's it. It doesn't matter if it's at top dead center or not, okay? Because at the end of the day, the 2 dots have to just match up. That's it. Camshaft is designed so that when that dot matches with that corresponding crankshaft dot, it's in time. So that's to clear that up. So as you guys know, I matched up the dots. So technically, this should be in time. Should be. If that's the correct camshaft. Yes, I know that camshaft didn't look stock. It looked like a replacement camshaft, right? Similar to the one that I bought online for $25. And I put it in. And it works fine. That was the 17.5 I put in that red yard machines. Ran great. I even sold it, you know? So then there was some people who talked about the ignition coil. In my experience, yes, there are things about the ignition coil that could cause that problem. However, you guys saw this ignition coil, or Magneto, gives off great spark. The spark is determined by the timing of the magnet. The timing should now be correct so that the spark is igniting at the right moment where it should, right? You saw that I adjusted the valves twice, and they're fine. Carburetor's been changed 3 times, right? And we still get nothing. So I was texting with my friend Larry of Larry and Bob. He said that he saw a video a while back about a guy who was doing exactly what I was doing, and he did exactly what I did, and he tried everything, and nothing worked, until his son was looking at the muffler and pulled out a dead rat that was clogging the muffler, right? If you've got a really good clog in that muffler, and you don't have any exhaust that's able to come out, it comes out the other opening, which we saw a lot of stuff coming out of the carburetor. So I was watching the past 2 videos on when I cranked this engine, right, and nothing happened. What else didn't happen? We didn't see anything come out of the muffler. You should see fumes, fuel, smoke, possibly rust, but we didn't see anything come out of the opening of the muffler. What if the muffler is blocked? Could it be that simple, that the muffler is blocked and that exhaust is not being able to be let out? That would probably cause a non-start issue. However, how could the muffler be clogged so airtight that not even a little bit of air is allowed to come out, you know? I mean, if you shove a potato in your tailpipe of your car, you're still going to be able to start it for a period of time, and then it'll stall, you know? So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to work on this one last time. I'm going to take the muffler off, and we're going to try to start it. It'll be louder than hell if it starts, but I don't care. I just want to see if it starts. You know what I mean? If that doesn't work, right, I'm going to go look for another ignition coil. Just to satisfy your curiosity, because I really don't think it's the ignition coil. And then the third thing I'm going to try today is I'm going to take the head off and inspect the valves. What do you guys think? I'm going to give it another go. Last night, we had 1 to 3 inches of wet, slushy snow. It's not even that cold out today. And as you can see, it's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's still snowing. So here we go. I am going to put on some yucky clothes and get my torque wrench out. So this muffler, the opening is right there. There's an opening, but it has this plate here on the very bottom that kind of restricts it. But I don't think that is going to restrict it all that much. It's still 2-inch clearance from the opening of the muffler hole to this panel here. This panel, I don't even know what it's there for. It's like a heat shield type thing. And, I mean, there's 2 inches of clearance, so I don't think that's it. But the reason why we didn't see anything come out was because that panel is there. But I'm going to crank it right now, and let's see if anything comes out of there, you know. Choke. I'm going to crank it. Strange because I charged the battery overnight. So I've got a T40 handle here. Compliments of my friend Samuel Sandoval. we're just going to take this muffler off and just crank it and see what happens. I'll never find that again. Alright, muffler is free. Gonna give it a crank and see what happens. It's gonna be loud. I hope it starts. Man, those flames, huh? Flamin'. Funny how it flames and then it stops. No flames at all. Well, still didn't start. I don't think that's the problem. I have another ignition coil or magneto or armature there. I'm going to do what you guys told me. Hey Henry, just switch out that damn magneto, man. What do you have to lose? Well, look guys, I just don't believe that it could be a magneto because we get great spark out of here. Look, I don't care if it's a blue spark, a yellow spark, whatever, right? A spark is a spark. A spark will ignite fuel, right? So if it ignites fuel, that's all we need. Unless there's something crazy about this thing that I don't know about, you know? I really don't think that's it. But, just to humor you guys, I'll do it. There was also talk about setting the air gap. Mullins Lawn Equipment. Check them out on Instagram. Get the magnet on this side. Right. We're setting the air gap. I think it's about 10 1/1000ths. That's what it is. Or the size of a business card, which is why everybody uses a business card, the standard kind. No, not those crazy prism kinds or the ones that are plastic, or just a regular standard business card. Will give you an approximate gap. Not too tight, you'll bust the posts. As long as it's as close as it can get to the flywheel without touching it. That's it. Putting the coil boot onto the spark plug. And let's give it another try. New coil. Muffler's off. New coil. Joke. Here we go. Look at those flames, huh? Well, I guess I shut you guys up now, huh? Not the muffler, not the coil. I think it's still the timing. I'm going to try what Tony Vento said, okay? So it's at top dead center now, okay? Watch the screwdriver. I'm going to rotate it a little bit to the back and then the front. Down. all the way up, going down again. Right there, stop dead center. Look at where the magnet is. We've done this before. Is the magnet supposed to be that far from the coil? Some people say the magnet should be 5 degrees from the coil. I'm going to take the bolt off. Okay. I'm going to take the bolt off. Take the keyway out. And manually place the magnet over the coil. Of course, I can't get the keyway out without taking the flywheel off. Sometimes you gotta whack it pretty good. I might need a new bolt because this bolt looks bent now. As long as it didn't mess up the threads. You know what? I'm gonna swap it out with the other. I'm going to swap it out with the original flywheel. Alright, so look. There's a magnet here. We're going to forget about the keyway altogether. I'm just going to line up the magnet right to the ignition coil. Now we're just grasping at straws now, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like you have anything to lose, really, you know? Now why doesn't this fit again? Oh, you know why it doesn't fit? Because I banged it so it's not even, won't even fit anymore. You know, I have another one off of the other one, so we'll use this for banging. We'll put this one back on. That's good. No keyway. Alright, it's at top dead center. And we've got that thing lined up with the Magneto. Let's see what happens. I've never done this before. I've never not put a keyway in there. I suppose we could screw up something really bad in there if this slips. Right? Got nothing to lose, really. Here we go. Huh. Oh, you know why? Because the spark plug is not inside! Alright, I got the spark plug in. Here we go. No keyway, manually lined up to there. Hey, 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 hey! What do we get there? Alright, well guess what? So that's it. Alright? Tony Vento's idea works. we saw it ran for a second. That's the most we've ever seen it, right? That's the most we've ever seen it. I know that for sure I didn't have it exactly right, you know? But it was close enough that it actually fired up, right? So what is that telling you? I think the camshaft is not the right one. Because the camshaft being in there, still causing it, and with the dots lined up, still causes the flywheel to not match up. So it's from a different engine, that camshaft, maybe. I'm pretty sure the flywheel is correct, because I've worked on a lot of these 17.5s, and it's the same kind. And it's identical to that one too, you know? So, that was interesting, right? I don't know why that battery's that way. It's a brand new battery. Oh, you know what? I unplugged it. That's why the battery's not working. Let the engine start. Well, since we know it's not the muffler, I'm going to at least pull the muffler back on, put it on. What do you guys think, man? I'm really at a loss still because, I mean, I'm only assuming that it's the wrong... I'm only assuming that it's not the right camshaft, you know? I could be completely wrong. But us moving that thing around makes sense. But there seems to be a little bit of confusion here because some people say that it's supposed to be 5 degrees past the ignition coil. Some people say it's right on it. Some people say it's around there. Well, I mean, honestly, guys, it can't be just around there. Otherwise, why would they have 2 dots that match up the holes? It's got to be exactly right, you know? And if it's not exactly right, it's going to be out of time. You know, we're only doing an approximate area, and an approximate area allowed this to actually fire up, and it, you know, actually rotated a bunch of times, you know? But I just can't, you know, put this engine together going by approximate. It's got to be perfect, you know what I mean? Teeth has got to be perfect. So, I mean, what am I going to do? I mean, is the crankshaft maybe the wrong one? Or is it the camshaft the wrong one? Or does the flywheel have something to do with it? You know? I'm just not 100% sure. And, I mean, do I have the timing right? You know? As long as the 2 dots match up, timing should be right. Period. Not that good. Alright, well look. I really don't think it's the valves. I don't think it's the heads. I don't think it's the... I don't think it's any of that stuff. I think we just simply have the wrong camshaft in there. The guy who put this thing together, he didn't buy the right camshaft. That's all. Because if he had the right camshaft, and the dots match up, it should be such where the keyway is lined up with the flywheel perfectly that allows for the magnet to correspond correctly with the Magneto, you know? We just did an approximate thing to prove that, you know? Thanks, Tony Vento. Appreciate your comment, man. It was a good idea. That seems to be the most promising experiment that we've done, is to manually line up that magnet with the ignition coil. So again, I wasn't sure whether or not it should be 5 degrees past it, and it goes this way. It goes clockwise, okay? If you're looking from the top, it goes clockwise. Is it 5 degrees past the ignition coil or before? Because look, it has to, once it brushes through, it creates the spark, right? You can't guess. It's got to be perfect, right? So when the dots are lined up, right, with the keyway in here, this magnet is like over here. Actually, by the time that thing gets over here, you know, because it's going so fast, it does create the spark at about the right time. If I had maybe rotated it back a little bit more, but like I said, I'm not going to guess on how to do it, you know. And not only that, I'm not going to run this thing forever without a keyway in there, right? So something's got to give. It's either the flywheel is not right, which I doubt, or the camshaft is not the right one. Camshaft's not the right one. The dots are not in the right place. When we put it together, it doesn't seem to be right, and I can't guess which tooth it is, you know. So even if I took this apart and manually moved the camshaft to where it would, it's just not the way it's supposed to be. It's not, you know, specifications, you know. So either, and how am I going to find the right camshaft? You know what I mean? I guess I can go by this, you know, the number 31R707. But I mean, the way this engine is, how do you even know if this valve cover is the original valve cover, you know, that has the engine numbers on it? No idea, you know? So, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I should just forget about it. I could part out everything here, sell it on eBay, or I could get another camshaft and try. I don't have another camshaft. I have another camshaft, the 17.5, right? Has a little nick on one of the lobes from another busted engine, and also the compression release ACR, it's off, so that won't work. So forget about that. Well, I mean, I guess I could take that one and compare it to this one, but that means I have to take this apart and take the camshaft off. Well, I don't know, I'll let this brew a little bit more, you know, but I don't think there's anything else I can do with this thing short of buying another camshaft, you know, going by the numbers here on the valve cover, ordering one, waiting for it to come. When it comes, compare it with the one that we have in here, see if there's a difference. If there's no difference, I'll put it in anyway, see if it runs. I don't know. I'll have to price it out and see if it's worth it, you know. It's a shame, though. 17.5 is decent, you know. But we have just about, we've tried everything, right? If there's something that we haven't tried, please tell me in the comments on this video, alright? This has been episode 5 of the Head Scratcher Engine. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. Hey guys, support my channel, buy a sticker. Also follow me on Instagram at Mowers Blowers. Check out my website, mowersblowers.com. See you guys on the next project. Have a great day.